Hello, YouTube. All right, got a lot going on today. Trying to make sure I hit all the topics here. Some of you might be curious what's my solar power system. I just thought I would show you it is indeed working. Right now it's reading 13.3, 13.4. That is actually the charge, I think, coming through from the solar panel. What I'm finding, but I'm not using the van all day because I'm at work in the morning, is that it's actually enough to top off my battery while I park at work. And I was able to charge up my power drill, my battery pack for the power drill, just off the solar, which was amazing for me. It's like, wow, I'm actually powering all my electronics off the sun. I haven't had to turn on my alternator for the charging system since installing the solar. Now, from what I can tell with a PWM controller, I think what it does is it cuts the threshold. Like, it'll only charge at 13.7 or whatever the setting was on here. I just defaulted. I didn't make any adjustments. I think it's 13.7 or 14.6 or whatever. It'll the voltage of the solar panels, that's how much it'll allow to come in here to charge the battery. So even though it's not taking all the power from this huge solar panel, which is a 255 watt panel, it's taking more than enough. Enough to keep the system totally topped off. So I'm like, wow, maybe I can start watching TV, just laying down and watching TV and running the fans and maybe even running a cooler. I might try to get my refrigerator cooler thing working off solar. Because if that works, then I can always have cold drinks and stuff. Just wanted to update on certain things going on. I am at Walmart. I was here just looking at stuff and actually going to the restroom, because I decided to go to one of the parks that I was at the other day, the Veterans Memorial Park, and sure enough, they left the park open, but they locked up the bathrooms. So there are less and less resources becoming available, which is going to bring me to my next point here in a moment. But anyway, I just wanted to show you, it is reading 13.7, 13.8, but when I hit the switch here to shut the panel off, you can see the battery starts to drop down, the reading. It's staying at 12.8, which is a full battery. So it managed the solar charging. I'm going to go ahead and keep it there so it can float charge and keep my battery bank full. This is like the fullest my battery's ever been. So, unlike charging from the alternator, the solar panel charges at a slower rate, allowing the battery to actually go, get completely full. But as I was stating earlier, it looks like more and more resources are getting shut down over time, which is what's going to bring me to my next point here in a minute. If I can get this camera mounted. Got this old, my old camera mount. Start up the van here and get some air conditioning going. All right. As you know, those of you who have been with this channel any length of time, then you know that a while back, one of our viewers, Lizzy2shoes, Elizabeth McWilliams, suffered a heart attack and as a result lost her job. But right now is actually a bad time for everybody. There are a lot of people right now who don't have jobs because of the shutdown, and some people are actually laid off. So it's kind of a rough time for everybody. But Lizzie's having a doubly hard time, because she's still trying to recover from her heart attack. They put stents inside her, I guess her arteries to try to keep the passageway clear. And I'm not sure the full sequence of what's going on because I haven't really been staying in touch with her. But I just heard from her friend Cindy. She's one of her friends, and she contacted me to see if we might be able to try to do something to help Elizabeth because she's not doing really well. What happened, from what I understand, was that Elizabeth was trying to stay with her children. She didn't have a job, so she couldn't make payments on the apartment rental, and they're going to kick her out. So she was trying to find a new place to stay, and one of the options she was looking into was trying to move back in with her kids. Evidently, the kids won't take her in. So, that to me makes me really, really sad. But those of you who have children or have family issues, you kind of may be able to relate to it. You know, I can relate to that based on my history and everything that happened and how families sometimes behave, which may not be in the best light. But long story short, I am still waiting to hear back from Lizzy2shoes. Elizabeth McWilliams, if you get this message, please get in touch with me. You've got my phone number or my email. But we're going to try to see what we can do to help you. I'm not quite sure what can be done other than, you know, the thing that's running through my mind right now is that being a van dweller right now sucks, okay? If you thought van dwelling sucked before, it sucks like 1,000 times more now. Because all your resources like ability to shower, ability to even go to the bathroom and stuff have been removed by society. So it's making it more and more difficult. And in Elizabeth's situation, it's even worse because she's got a medical condition. One, she's a little bit older than I am, okay? So that already puts her at high risk. Two, the heart issue with the stent in her heart, and instead of recovering, she's out there trying to live in a vehicle, as far as I know, in the middle of this coronavirus situation. So I don't know if you guys have thoughts on what we can try to do to help Elizabeth. My own thoughts is get her the heck out of her vehicle if she's living in her vehicle and try to get her into a house with somebody. Some of you might be saying, well, she can get an apartment and blah, 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 blah. I don't think we have the funds for that. You know, the network's not up. The Pay It Forward isn't functional yet. And there's no money. So I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe you guys can help me or let me know if I'm an idiot for even thinking this. But what I was thinking is if there's a viewer out there, okay, who might be interested in having a roommate, you know, just somebody to live with you and take her in for this time being, that would be very helpful. What I know, unless she's moved, is that Elizabeth was in Colorado. So it would have to be hopefully somewhere close by or somewhere where she can get to. So, you know, I don't know. I haven't talked to Elizabeth. So this is all just me going off what Cindy, her friend, said, that Elizabeth isn't doing well. And, you know, I can understand why she's not doing well. I'm somewhat physically healthy and I'm struggling here. And, you know, I've got a lot of experience with dealing with these situations, and it's a struggle because resources, as soon as you find them, the next day they shut down, you know, like a bathroom or something. So with her having the heart condition and her age, I can imagine it's really difficult. But not just her. I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm a little crazy, but this is what I'm thinking is, and I know it's asking quite a bit of people, okay? Because I'm basically asking strangers to take in strangers. But if you are in a home, okay, and you have a home right now, even though it's under quarantine, and your home would be available to take in one of the van dwellers, you know, have them stay with you. Maybe they don't have to live in your house. Maybe they can just park in your yard or something. I don't know. I'm telling you this, it would be a lot better for them, especially the older ones and ones with medical conditions, to be in a spot where they have access to electricity and running water than to be out on the road trying to deal with this situation and the changes that occur on a daily basis. So I guess I'm asking or begging people out there that if you have a home, you know, and you would like some company or are willing to open up your house for a van dweller, please post on the comment down below. If you're doing it in the live stream, wait till the live stream ends and then post down there and an email address where somebody can reach you, okay? And or you can contact me. You know, it might be safer to mail me because then I can kind of screen everybody. But you can contact me at Denoy, DENOY .deboer, DEBOER @gmail.com. Contact me and let me know where you live, like, you know, what state and city, and if you can take somebody in during this crisis. And what I will do is try to set up a network of houses that are willing to host a van dweller or an RVer RVs might be a little bit difficult because they're huge, in a lot of states. Government makes me really pissed right now because they still have all these rules and regulations. You are in a pandemic crisis, and you're still enforcing zoning for RVs not being allowed to park in someone's yard. And you're closing all the RV parks and mobile home parks so they have nowhere to go. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm going to calm down. Enough of my outbursts here, because we're trying to do something to help people right now. But it is very frustrating on this end to watch how government is behaving. They're still wanting to write tickets. They're still wanting to fine people on stupid crap. When people are dying, literally, day by day, people are dying. Those who get infected could die within 2 weeks. That's how fast the virus moves. So I know it's taking a risk to take in a stranger that you don't know, and it's asking a lot, but if you are willing to open up your home for a van dweller, not me, I'm fine out here in the streets. I know what I'm doing, and I'm fine where I am right now. I'm okay. I have my system, okay? But obviously I can't take anyone in. I'm just barely making it, and I'm adapting every single day, having to look for new spots and scout around and trying to share what I have, what I know, because I know there may be people watching right now that don't know where to look or don't know where to go, so I try to share even though it may be taken away because of it being shared. But what are you going to do? Just let people not know and then just let people have no resource? But that's what society is doing right now. So I'm reaching out to the, I guess we could call it our Starfish network. The Pay It Forward channel is about 10 to 12 people away from going live. So once I hit my 1,000 subs, I'll be moving this kind of content over there and broadcasting live from that channel. So make sure that you go over to the Pay It Forward channel and hit subscribe, because this channel may go silent very soon. You'll see some postings on here, but not that many. Most of my broadcasts will be occurring on Pay It Forward, because that's what we're going to use it for, is to talk and plan and help people. So please comment down below, or not even comment down below, email me personally. And just so you know, Lizzy is indeed in critical need. She needs a place to stay. I don't even know what her status is. She did not return my call, so I don't know what's going on. I heard from Cindy, and I'm just trying to reach out to Elizabeth to see what we can do. It is hard on everyone, and I understand, it's hard. It's hard on everyone. Even people with houses right now are struggling, because many people are looking at, I don't know, I could sit here and scream and go nuts about government and stuff, because I'm like, the way it's being handled is all screwed up. It's like people are being told to stay home so they can't work, so they're not making an income, yet they're expected to make their mortgage payment. Otherwise, the bank's going to come take their home. In the middle of a pandemic. Okay, that's the kind of crap we're facing right now, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. People should not be worried about losing their home right now. They should be focusing on trying to stay alive, trying not to get sick, helping one another. So I'm putting it out there, asking for help. If you're available and willing to do that, contact me. I will start a list up. And if you need a place to stay because you are not making it out there in your van or your RV, contact me as well. I will try to match people up. We're not just going to stick random people, okay, together. Basically, hopefully, you'll be able to take someone in that you kind of know, like you're already a regular on this channel or on the Pay It Forward channel, and you know the people we're talking about, so you kind of know them a little bit. So it's not like a total stranger, it's somebody you kind of know. And if you can offer this assistance, as simple as maybe giving them a place to park, and access to a bathroom or water, and maybe electricity. I don't know if they can help you financially or not. If they can't help you and you need money for electric bills and things like that to help out, let me know. We'll see if we can't raise some funds somehow. If I have to personally spend some of my money to help offset that, I'll do that. But basically, we're not talking about trying to make people comfortable right now. We're just trying to get people to stay alive long enough to make it through this. And I think that if everybody bands together and helps one another, we're going to be all right. You know, everyone will be all right. As long as you don't panic, and as long as you basically try to follow the guidelines on the quarantine. And I know some people still see it as a joke, but, you know, it's a joke until somebody you know gets sick and possibly dies from it. You know, then it's not such a joke anymore. So stay safe, everybody. Contact me via email if you need a place, or if you're willing to open up your house, you know, or your driveway. Just to be an angel to somebody. In the meantime, I hope you're all managing to stay safe. As I say, every day that you're free and able to look around, as long as you have money for gas, you know. Gas prices are lower than normal, but still kind of high in Florida, because I think they have all sorts of crazy taxes. But if you have a little bit of gas and can afford to, I suggest you explore your local area to look for resources, because they are disappearing left and right, and I'm checking right now to see if another park's open. Basically, you gotta have multiple places that you can go, because once they shut one down, if you don't have another one, you're in a panic mode. So, you know, I'm looking so that I don't get into panic mode. And the other thing is that the van right now is totally off-grid capable. You know, it can make electricity just sitting in one spot somewhere. I can have electricity. Just need to get water and other stuff set up, which I kind of know how to do it, you know, what I would need to do and how I would go about doing it right now. It doesn't really cost a lot of money, but it does require some planning and getting materials ready. So maybe I'll show you how to do that. But basically it's simple, folks. You know, like if you need to get water, see all this water here alongside in the little retention pond and even in the creek? That's all drinkable if you distill it. You know, if you distill water, you're basically making pure water. And you distill water by just making steam. All you have to do is just boil it and catch the steam and let it cool down and collect it in another cup or something, and you have pure water. It won't have any flavor or anything because all the minerals and stuff got left behind, but it's water, you know, so you can use it for drinking, even though I wouldn't recommend drinking just pure water too long, because your body kind of needs minerals and stuff. You might want to take vitamins. But it can be used for washing, it can be used for cleaning, it can be used for what you would use clean water for. So those are the kind of skills you need to be working on if you plan on systems going down, you know, like if you're in a house. If you're in a van and stuff, you may have to start doing that now, because the parks and all the other things that you normally go to, I'm going to check one of our parks here to see if they shut it down. Typically in Florida, what I've seen so far, they've been trying to refrain from shutting down places where people fish. You know, even though they're shutting down like state parks and county parks and things like that, what I've been seeing thus far is that where you go fishing, they seem to be leaving them open. But they've been shutting down the bathrooms, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. Why? They're saying they're shutting down the bathrooms for, they put signs up. They say that they're shutting it down for safety and security. So they don't want people in the bathrooms. But I'm like, you know, you're going to have people crapping all over the place out there at the park. Or peeing out in a bush or something, you know. And some of those parks don't even have bushes. So anyhow, I'm looking right now, basically the things I'm looking for: a water source, you know, clean, fresh water. I'm looking for a place to go to the bathroom if need be. A potential place to plug in electrical if you need to. Me personally, I don't need most of that, because I can generate my own electricity. Water I can get from work. So I really don't, you know, I'm pretty much set. I'm okay. But I know some van dwellers may not be so fortunate right now. And, you know, these are the kind of things you should be scouting for. And I'm looking here, and it looks like they've still got this open so people can fish. And here's the bathroom. I want to go take a look and see if they have signs posted, if they've removed that. But if they haven't, there's fresh water here. And the reason I point out stuff like this is where you fill up your jug, you know. Otherwise, you have to pay $1 or whatever in the grocery store to go buy it. But I'm trying to show people how you can get access to this kind of stuff. And find resources like this. You can fish here, as long as what do they call them? The game warden, the ranger doesn't come, the police don't come, or the sheriffs don't come and ask you for your fishing license, which they might still do. It's like you're in the middle of a survival situation and they want to give you a ticket, or put you in jail. And I get the feeling right now a lot of people in jail are coming down with the virus, even though they're not publicizing it. Those people, I heard that some of the prisons are asking for, ice boxes because the bodies are piling up in there. Okay, this is the men's restroom, and I don't see a sign, which is a good thing. Normally they post a little white paper here saying it's closed. They locked it. See? They didn't post a sign, but they did lock it. So they've locked the ability for you to use the restroom here or get any water. So you're at the point of possibly, I'm still looking, just for me, for this area. But like I said, I get water from work. I still go into work and I take jugs with me and I fill it up. That's what I do. But you got to constantly scout around. But I get the feeling that all public facilities, they basically removing the ability for you to survive on this, Now, this water here, this is salt water, but even this water can be distilled. So you may have to go to the point of distillation. If it were me, if I was having to survive out here right now in something like this, I would basically get a plastic bag, a piece of big plastic, and make a little pool of water and use the sun's power to heat up. Because see, there's evaporation going on all around right now. So as the sun hits the water, it'll evaporate up pure fresh water, not salt water. Pure fresh water comes up, hits the plastic bag, and will drip down, as it cools down, and you collect that water. You'd have to run this every single day to collect your water. Basically, if you've ever played a game where you have to survive on an island, that's what you're having to do in real life right now, and it isn't a game. You gotta know how to do this, or you're gonna not have water. You have to go into Walmart. Now here's a really easy solution, though. Not being as drastic as that. You can go into Walmart. Okay, the bathrooms there are still open. So just take your jug in there, or small little bottles like soda bottles or whatever, or what do they call those bottles? Like Gatorade bottles. Put 2 or 3 of them in your backpack. Go into the bathroom and close up. Okay, so those options still exist. Just wanted to share with you some ideas. I think it really sucks that they are removing resources for people, to even survive. It's like this really bad nightmare that keeps getting worse. Yeah, somebody's saying to bunker down at the hut. The hut got destroyed, and also the haters and stuff were invading it. I know some of you don't know the whole story because I stopped broadcasting it and stuff. But basically, the channel has a bunch of crazy stalkers. Like, you guys saw me blow up because, basically, like Lewis, one of them, he goes by George Mulligan. He actually lives here in Palm Bay. I even know where he lives. I have his house. I can go by and visit him, which, sometimes I get so angry, I feel like going over there and paying him a visit, knock on his door and say, "Hey, George," or better yet, "Lewis, you wanted to see me, right? You wanted to mess with me, right?" But the deal is, I think he or some other people have destroyed the hut. I literally get hunted by these weirdos. They're sociopaths. They really, truly are. I know some people think I act paranoid on here. It's not paranoia when they're physically doing it. It's not paranoia when they go to the hut and destroy it, or when they do weird stuff to my vehicle. It's physical, and that's why the police are involved. So, that's the kind of stuff you deal with on YouTube. It is the reason I will be leaving YouTube. Those of you who haven't figured it out, I've been trying to leave for, the last 2 years? But people still say they need the information from this channel. So I've kept it there. I will be removing myself and probably leaving the informational stuff or making new videos that just show how to do something. But as far as me personally, my life, I will be leaving YouTube. But if you are out there in a van, and you have other tips, feel free to post them in the comments section. Hopefully when people see this video, they can read it. What you can do for power, what you can do for water. We're basically down to the point of survival. The things that one needs to survive. Food, shelter, okay? Resources are being shut down. Even like social agencies are all shut down. So before I could tell you to contact the Homeless Coalition or the churches and stuff like that, those options are gone. Those places aren't available. You are on your own. You're having to make your own electricity now. You're having to make your own water potentially. Unless, of course, like right now, Walmart, Publix, all the food places are still open. So don't make it too obvious, but you can go in there if you have to buy a jug of water or something. The small ones, like the 1 liter or something, or a soda, and put that in a backpack and fill it with water each day. Try to have 5 or 6 of those things in your car or your van. I've been bringing water home from work so I can shower. I'm reduced to showering out of my homemade shower using that little bottle. Now, fortunately for me, I do have the RV. Even though I can't really live in the RV, I still kind of live in it. It's in storage right now, and I use it as a home base. So I can shower there, I can even cook food and stuff. So I know for a fact I'm better off than a lot of people right now. People who don't really have anything. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for the viewers of this channel for getting me up to this point, because otherwise it would be back out in the woods. Now the fact is, if they end up closing my job, then I will be probably abandoning Blue and switching over to the RV. Hopefully by then the RV's solar power system will be fully functional. It has more capability. He was having problems with the transmission slipping. That was the initial problem, on the hurricane where it died. Well, it's doing it again. It's not like, it's not overheating like it was before, but it's slipping. So that makes me a little bit nervous driving it. But it's running better than before, and it's not overheating, but it is kind of semi-slipping, which is bad news. So that makes me a little nervous, and that means that if I have to live in the RV, I may look for a place to park and hole up, somewhere where I can park in the wilderness and just use it as a hut, because driving it might not be too safe. It's just weird when you come out here and you look at places like this and everything looks so normal. But then when you go to the bathroom, it's all locked up for no reason, really, other than they're saying safety and stuff. But some people are out here fishing. Hey, Renegade, glad you're here. I hope you are managing to stay safe, buddy. It's weird, man. This whole situation is so surreal, with how things are going down and how the government is reacting and how people are reacting. I'm seeing a lot of what I consider suffering, and it isn't from the virus. It's from the government and the policies that are being instituted. Fishing now might not be just for recreation. I think fishing is going to be a survival skill. I think that after all this, the survivalists will do a lot of adjustments on what they thought was important survival skills, turned out to be useless. But I think if you really want to be a true survivalist, you're not so much going after the survivalist mentality as you are a homesteader mentality, where you kind of like grow your own food, catch your own food, make water from dirty water, make clean, usable water. Looks like a diaper here. No trespassing. You guys want to go look at the locks? Let's go for a little ride. We're just gonna ride around. thought you guys might just want to de-stress a little and just go on a little sightseeing tour with me as I check out this area. I'm kind of disappointed that the bathroom was locked. I kind of half expected it to be, and indeed it was. But it makes me sad because it means no resources. I mean, you can fish here and you can distill water, but you can't just go turn on a faucet and get clean water. At least not from here. Up in the Ozarks, Renegade. Terry's up in the Ozark Mountains. How is it over there? Is it like calm or is it crazy like the rest of the country? Nomadic Ninja says he's got 75 rolls of toilet paper, lots of bottled water, sanitizer, and ammo. What are you going to do when you run out? My suggestion is learn how to do without that stuff. You know, if you're needing toilet paper to survive, I don't think you're going to make it. See, if I had nothing else, I'd wash my hiney in the water. I'd just go in there and wash my bottom. You know? No need for toilet paper. There's plenty of water. I guess it depends on your situation and where you are. If you're up north somewhere where it's cold, that might be kind of hard to do. But then I just get the water and let that, you know, melt. Thaw that out. Put it on the roof and let it melt. Assuming it's cold. I mean, it gets hot enough to melt. It's weird to see the port. Even the ships. Normally you have ships, cruise ships going in and out. Ships aren't moving. Nothing's moving. Except for small vessels. It looks like Florida is still encouraging people to go fishing. I had signed up for a newsletter because I used to pay for a fishing license because there was a time. I know you guys never saw that, but before the van videos and stuff, even before YouTube, when I first lost my home and everything, I was looking into homesteading out in the woods. And I was trying to get into fishing and stuff, and legally, in Florida, depending on where you fish and stuff, you need a license. So I had license, I paid for the license, and all that good stuff. And it puts you on a mailing list for the Florida Fish Engagement. So they send you all these telling you what's going on with the fisheries and stuff, where you can fish, and they want you to hunt the, what do they call them, the lionfish? All the weird stuff in the water. But I thought I saw an email coming from their office a couple days ago saying that they were still encouraging people to go boating. Because they were saying that boating, you have that distance, but it gives you something to do. You can get out instead of being cooped up, and you're not confined. So that's what they were encouraging on the wildlife or the fishing management thingy for the state of Florida. I don't know if it's true elsewhere, but that's why you still see people on boats. But as far as big boats and stuff like that, they're not doing that. Hello, Spider's Nest. Life of Sims is shopping at the liquor store. Wow, Renegade Ramblin' Van, I think, has it made. He said he doesn't see people, plenty of wildlife, deer, squirrels, turkey. So, and not only that, I don't know if you guys know Terry. He's like a good old boy. I don't doubt that Terry knows how to survive out there. Okay, he's one of those country boys that I think if he had nothing and he was barefoot out in the woods, he would still survive. But that's the thing. I guess that's what I've been trying to preach all along with becoming self-sufficient and surviving, is that if you rely on money and you rely on society, for your materials. I mean, if you get tools and stuff, that's okay. It's a head start. I mean, if you were really good, you wouldn't even need tools. You make your own tools. But, if you're wanting a shortcut, you buy society's tools, and you can even cheat and use power tools and solar panels to generate electricity and stuff. That's what I do. But if you were, a true survivalist, you wouldn't need any of that. You make your own tools. But me, I prefer having some tools that are bought, and I prefer electric tools when I can power them, just because it saves time. And but knowing how to build a shelter if you had to out of nothing. Some of the experiments I did on this channel, some people thought I was like just goofing off, and I was kind of goofing off, but not really. Like when you saw me build the yurt out of frond leaves, there was a reason for that. People don't get it. Okay, you got to see how the fronds behave, how strong they are, what it would take to make a strong enough roofing. And some of you like, you can just go buy wood. Well, a lot of people right now don't even have any money because, they just got let go. People were already living paycheck to paycheck. They're not working. And supposedly the government's sending money to people, but it's still not out there. And even if it is, it's not enough, It's not going to cover everything. You may have to go out into the woods and try to live, And then you got people with guns wanting to shoot everybody. I just don't get it, Me personally, I'm still trying to be as, quote, normal as possible within the system because, if the system truly breaks down and falls apart, it's pretty much the end. And, my own goal would be I do as God bids me, okay? And I live because God bids me to live. But as far as how I react and respond, I definitely don't plan on going around killing other people to make sure that I survive, because then at that point, I don't know what I'm surviving for. I do intend on trying to help people as much as I can all the way to the end. As many of you know, I don't really think I think I'm on borrowed time right now. I think I was given a little bit of extra time to live, and I don't know why, but maybe it ties in with what's happening right now. There's because my whole life has gone so wacky and weird since all this went down. Since everything that's happened, it's just like, I almost feel like I'm not even me. It's like not even my life. It's like another life, and I somehow got thrown into this, and somehow I ended up on YouTube with people watching, which doesn't make any sense to me. Look at all these ships here. They're all like ghost ships. I know you guys don't see them, but they are right there. Let me take this off here. I'll take the camera out and drive with the camera, even though it's not really safe, but there's no cars here. You see all the ships there? They're all like just sitting. And this is the port where they bring the coronavirus through. I don't plan on getting out and going around touching all that stuff. But somebody's riding a bike out here. There's a ship right there. Look at that. It looks like a building. That ship is like a 5-story building or higher. Maybe 10 stories. All the restaurants here are closed. It's almost like a ghost town. It's surreal. But it's not just here. I know if anywhere, it's weird because this is the one event that no matter where you are right now in the world, where you are, more than likely are seeing similar, where the city's like deserted. And if you go somewhere, you're like the only one there moving around, or there might be 1 or 2 other people. It's like a post-apocalyptic situation almost. Look at that big, huge ship. Do you see it? It's got let's see, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, at least 15 or 16 stories high. So these ships are like buildings. This is Harmony. Is it Harmony of the Sea? All these big, huge, mega, giant ships. I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer here. What's kind of sad is all the people that were on the ships were there, spending money to be on that ship. And a lot of the ships right now are not being allowed to dock anywhere. They're not letting them pull in, especially the ones that have sick people on them. So people were going on vacations, and now it's their death. The harmony of the sea is what this one is. So people on these big ass cruise ships are being left to be stuck out there. It's truly messed up. So for me, this whole event is really, really interesting because you know, it was an event I had prepared for probably about 20 years ago. Not like a coronavirus or something like that, but preparing for power outages and trying to survive. I don't know if you guys recall, in the United States, they said it wasn't a terrorist attack, but there was a point in the United States back in like the year, I think it was like 2003 or something like that. The grid went offline. Like I think power went out for 1/3 of the United States. Like the country, you know, the United States lost power. Over, like, I think 1/3 or 1/2 of the country went black. And they said it was because the power grid in Ohio or something like that had gone offline, and it triggered an overload on all the other subsystems, and everybody lost power. And I think I was living in Florida at the time still, but here in Florida, I don't think we lost power. We were outside of that grid. But I saw those people lose power, and I was like, wow. And it took them forever to restore it. People didn't have electricity. And, you know, from that point on was where I started really first looking at living in a van. So even though I wasn't homeless yet, I had already started prepping as far as surviving in a van. And one of the reasons I was looking into like van dwelling even back then was the fact that I knew, you know, I don't know much about survival and all that, other than that alternators on a vehicle can make electricity. And if you put an inverter on it, you can convert that 12-volt electricity into 120, so you could run regular appliances. And that was important for me because my daughter, she would be scared of the dark. And I remember using, you know, like, 'cause we had hurricanes and stuff all the time in Florida, and we would lose electricity for weeks, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And I remember using my van to generate electricity so that I could run some fluorescent lights all night, so that my daughter never had to sit in the dark. And, you know, that was kind of what prompted me to try to learn all these ways of making electricity and even water and other things like that. Was just knowing that the systems that we take for granted can easily go offline. Now, how fast they did this with the virus, you know, shutting down the whole society and all the resources, was much faster and worse than I anticipated. My assumption, which I think a lot of people assumed, was that they wouldn't shut down society like they did. The fact that they are locking up bathrooms, that was not accounted for, you know, or that people would fight over toilet paper, that was unaccounted for. So seeing how people behave, I'm adjusting the model I have in my head of what you have to do. Here's a sheriff, so I'm going to hide my camera. He's going to say, you're driving and you shouldn't be working the camera. So I'm going to turn around here because he's going to say, what are you doing? Say, I'm cruising, looking around. Maybe we'll go have a talk with him. It says, do not enter. I'm going to turn around here though. You see police cars all over the place. It's almost spooky because you're like, you know, they're not just here, they're everywhere. You'll see them on the highways and stuff, just sitting there. Now, where I am in Brevard County, they don't have a lockdown yet. You know, they're not quarantined. Even though Orange County, which is Orlando and stuff, is under quarantine. Brevard County isn't under quarantine yet, but there are police everywhere. You'll see them parked out all along the highways and stuff. They don't seem to be hassling people, but the fact that they have police stationed in various spots makes me wonder what they're planning to do. You know, what the police or the cities and stuff, government, I guess, is planning on doing, because they have the police situated in certain key spots. I do know that I'm very grateful right now that I'm still working, because I still have access to water. If they remove, you know, I mean, I have access to water, but I mean clean, fresh water without me having to distill it or do anything weird. But if they end up shutting my workplace, one, you know, I won't have any money anymore. That's going to be hard to buy food. I'm not on food stamps. I'm not on anything, you know, so without any money, you know, we might really be doing a real Cooking with Denoy Armadillo edition or something. You know, we might have to. So, but without any money, you know, it'd be hard to continue to broadcast too on YouTube. So all these resources start to disappear as systems start to fall apart. And I don't mean just society systems, but the systems that I built up for, you know, this channel and our network. So I pray that the nation recovers, that the nation as a whole starts working together, that people help one another, and that instead of attacking one another or trying to hoard resources and blaming other groups and whatever, you know, that people try to help as humans, you know, don't give up their humanity. It's like, it makes me sad when I see like a ship full of people and the country won't let them come on board. You know, that's happening not just in America, but all over the world, because people are in a panic. They're like, well, those people are sick and they might spread it to us. So we're just going to let them stay on the ship and have everyone on the ship get sick. I think I went down the wrong road. Yeah, I did. So when I see that kind of behavior, it makes me question humanity. It's like, what just happened here? You know, we are now locking people out instead of taking them in. The other thing I don't understand, but, well, some of it I do, I guess, with the situation with the medical supplies and stuff like that, there are certain things that could be done, but I don't think anyone would listen to me. You know, like right now they have the healthcare professionals interspersed right in with the people who are sick. And the healthcare professionals are all getting sick and dying. Those are the people who have been trained to take care of us. In other words, when they die, there's no one else with that knowledge. You know, that's the group that has the best knowledge for keeping us alive, and they're dying. So that means that if we lose all our medical people, which we have been losing, then we're going to be doomed, because the people that are going to be taking their places, they don't have the experience, they don't have the training. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. We're losing the most important ones, the ones who know. Now, what I would think should be happening, but it's already too late, but they can still do it, I suppose. They should be isolating the medical people from the people they're helping. And you're like, what do you mean? I mean, they need to like set up a room, you know, like a clean room, where the staff, see how they're out of medical equipment and stuff like that, medical supplies, because they're trying to dress each person. Okay, like let's say they have all these medical people, they're trying to make them all get dressed and stuff to keep them from getting infected with the virus. Well, what they should do, but see, this is just hypothetical. They could have a little room where they have the little glove, you know, the thick gloves and whatnot, and have people go in there one person at a time, and the doctor, whatever, kind of checks them without even being in the same room, if you understand what I'm saying. It's like the patient is in another room that's sealed, and the healthcare professionals are safe on the other side. They're not wearing any protective gear, you know, they're just in a separate room. And if they have to touch them or whatever, you know, there's these thick gloves. You know what I'm talking about? Those little rooms with the gloves where they have the hands that go through. So they could do stuff if they need to examine and whatnot. And then the two never actually connect. And that's how you keep the medical staff from getting infected. Now, you're like, well, they don't have such rooms. Well, they can build them really fast. They need to build them really fast. Because the medical supplies are starting to show up, but it's still not enough. And at this point, you got to assume everybody is infected. Because they didn't test. Even me, I could be walking around infecting people. But, you know, I'm not the only one. I see all around me people coughing. But this is Florida. You know, people cough here all the time. We have pollen and stuff in the air. I don't have all the symptoms. I don't have, like, the fever, you know. But now they're saying the symptoms aren't the same for everybody. So it's one of those cases where you got to assume you've got it. You got to assume everybody else has it. And some of you might be wondering why I'm out there wandering around if I assume that I have it. I have no choice. You know, I don't have a house, so I'm in my vehicle. I do try to stay away from people. The only time I'm really out there is when I have to go to Walmart or something to go to the bathroom or get food or something. But otherwise, I try to go to the parks, but you can see what they've done to the parks. They've shut the bathrooms down. So those resources have become less and less, which means I may have to start going out into the wilderness and living like a wild man. Anyhow, I am going to go ahead and sign out. I hope that you guys are all managing to stay safe wherever you are. I can't really read the comments right now because I'm driving, obviously. But wanted to let each and every one of you know that I'm thinking of you and praying for all of you. And if you are one of the fortunate people that are living in a house right now and you want to try to help some of the van dwellers, contact me on my email, Denoy, DENOY.DeBoer, D-E-B as in boy, O-E-R @gmail.com. Give me your phone number and your name and where you live, you know, like what city and stuff like that. And if you can take somebody in. If their age and their sex or gender or whatever matters to you, put it in there, you know. And then what I will try to do is put a call out for van dwellers who want to try to get on grid temporarily, you know, because it is hard out there. Truly it is. It was hard before. It's a lot harder now. So stay blessed, everyone. Stay safe. Please keep your distance. Do practice that whole social distancing thingy. It's not only for your own good, it's for the good of others as well. You got to assume, I don't assume that other people have it. I assume that I have it. So when I practice social distancing, I'm doing it on the front that I may have the virus, and I'm trying not to spread it. So if everyone behaves that way, I think you're going to get less of a spread. At least I hope so. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Bye-bye now.